Hello everyone, welcome to IELTS Tips. Today we're looking at writing task 1. Writing task 1 is going to be a 20-minute exercise in your IELTS text, and I'm going to advise you to tackle the question in 15 minutes so that you have 5 minutes to yourself to go over what you have written. Writing task 1 actually comes in form of maps or process diagram, life cycle, charts. And when I say charts, I mean bar or pie charts. What's the structure of such a write-up? Number 1, it must have a paraphrase. That stands in for your introduction. It must have an overview. That's like paragraph 2. Your body 1, then body 2. What we're going to have in all is going to be about 4 paragraphs with about 160 to 180 in word counts. You should not have less. You can have more if you are able to, depending on how versed and fast you are. One other thing that you must note is the way you will be graded. I call it scoring or grading. You will be graded with these 4 criteria: the task achievement, or what we call task response, the coherence and cohesion, your vocabulary and grammar. When we say task achievement, we mean the overall experience, understanding, knowledge that you have about the question, the maps, the process diagram, the life cycle, the charts, bar or pie, whichever one you were given. Your knowledge about this task will reflect in your grade on the task achievement. Also, coherence and cohesion. I define coherence as the unity of ideas. Those ideas you're able to generate. Then how you intend to arrange your ideas in the texts. When I say texts, I mean your write-up now. The next one is cohesion. By cohesion, I mean the unity of the various language elements within the texts. What are these language elements within the texts that will enhance the unity of the texts? References. What do I mean by references? The use of pronoun for nouns. You have used a particular sentence earlier and you want to refer to the noun in that sentence, and you are using pronoun in the subsequent sentence. That's reference. With that, you have achieved tie, what we call cohesive tie, between the first sentence and the second sentence. Apart from references, we have substitution, we have ellipsis, we have conjunctions, and we have lexical cohesions. I am going to elaborate more on this in our subsequent classes. By vocabulary, I mean lexis, the words that you use in the texts. You have to choose your word appropriately. You have to know the adverbials that you're going to use to open your paragraphs. For example, in text 1, like I said, paragraph 1 has to do with the paraphrase. And I'm sure in the text you're going to be given a caption. That caption is just what you're going to paraphrase. That will form your paragraph 1. In the overview, for example, it's like the summary of the whole chart of the map. So in opening that paragraph, you may want to use overall, comma, summarily, in summary. By that, you are telling us that you have the overall knowledge of the entire map and charts. Grammar. Here is where many candidates will be having issue. I'm going to limit my teaching of grammar here to concord, the use of tense, the agreement between the participle within the sentence. What are the participles? The verbs within the sentence. If you use a verb in present tense, all other verbs in that sentence must be in present. Also, the agreement in terms of number. What will confuse many people from non-native speaking countries will probably be their mother tongue. You have to dissociate yourself from the grammar of your mother tongue if it's not complementing the English language. For example, some languages of the world do not support this, but English language does. When you use singular noun, it must be followed by singular verb. And when you use plural noun, you must use plural verb. For example, Clement likes to take tea as breakfast. Clement singular. The verb that follows, likes, singular. So what you must note here is that the singular verb will carry s. Why the singular noun will not carry s? Note that. The plural noun will carry s, but the plural verb will not carry s. Note that. The moment you are able to master that one at the back of your mind, you may not have problem tackling or answering questions in this format, and such will enhance your grading. So now I'm going to leave you with this task. It's an example, a typical example of task 1. As a matter of fact, it's one of those past questions. Okay, in this task, we have a bar chart. Don't forget you have just 20 minutes. And I told you the first paragraph of this task has to do with paraphrase. When we say paraphrase, what do we mean? You use your own words, your own language, to make sure that you say the same thing that that particular expression is saying. Then you have paraphrased. So in doing that, what do you need to do? There are certain vocabularies in that statement that you just have to change. Just change the vocabularies. Get the synonyms. Get another word that you want to use instead of that. For example, in this task, you have the charts below shows the results of a survey about people's coffee and tea buying and drinking habits in 5 Australian cities. The charts below shows. So the first vocabulary there that you can paraphrase, you can change. Shows. What other word can you use for shows? Illustrates. Illustrates. If you like, explicates. The results of a survey. If I were you, results of a survey. Survey is also a research. So I can say results of a research. Survey. Research. If you like, findings about people's coffee and tea buying and drinking. Buying and drinking. Buying and drinking. Buy and drinking, I call that consumption. So I'm sure by the time you change these 3 words in that statement, you're going to have a different thing entirely saying the same thing. So it's going to read like this. The chart illustrates. If you like, you can say the given chart illustrates the results of research carried out. Can you see? Carried out about people's consumption of coffee and tea in 5 Australian cities. With that, you have given a paraphrase of the statement, the caption given to this bar chart. One other thing you must notice here in the diagram is the key. You have the key for those that bought fresh coffee in the last 4 weeks. Also, you have the key for those that bought instant coffee in the last 4 weeks. And you have the key for those who actually went to cafe for coffee or tea in the last 4 weeks. And you discover from the diagram that the greatest percentage, you find out from the chart that those that went to cafe for coffee or tea actually had the largest number. I mean, in the last 4 weeks. Then this will be followed by those who bought instant coffee in the last 4 weeks. So in your second paragraph, what I call overview, you can decide to say, in summary, about so and so percentage, if you like. Look at Melbourne, that's having the highest percentage of consumers. You can decide to say that about 63% of people in Melbourne patronized cafe for coffee or tea in the last 4 weeks. You have actually given an indication showing the highest. While you may decide to also say, in the same overview, say, while you look at the lowest again, you have looked at the highest, then you're looking at the lowest again. And the lowest we find in Brisbane. People who actually bought fresh coffee in the last 4 weeks. So the least percentage is actually found in Brisbane. So when you bear all this in mind, you use the highest and the lowest to write your summary, to write your overview. Then we move to body 1. What do we have in body 1? Here you begin to look at little details in the charts. You look at the keys again. You look at the percentage. Then you want to ask, how do we express percentage in words? If you actually don't want to say 45%, if you don't actually want to say 50%, you can decide to use some other words. And these other words, I'm going to list them immediately after this class. I'm sure if you have questions, you leave questions for me. I'm going to answer you appropriately. Thank you for today. Hello everyone, welcome to IELTS Tips. Today we're looking at writing task 2. In writing task 2, which is typically an essay writing, you have 40 minutes to spend. I always advise candidates to use 30 minutes to write whatever you want to write, and the remaining 10 minutes to read over your work, proofread your work. In writing task 2, it has its own structure. I'm sure you are aware too that the structure of a typical essay has to do with the introduction, the body, then conclusion. Just 3 parts: introduction, the body, and conclusion. In this task, you are expected to write about 250 words. But I always advise candidates to aim at about 260, between 260 and 280 words, so that you don't run foul of IELTS golden axe. If you write less than 250, you will be penalized. But if you write more than 250, you cannot be penalized. So far, you have written that under the given time. So you look at the structure of writing task 2, where you have the introduction. Each time you want to write your introduction, don't always forget the paraphrase gimmicks. Let it be at your fingertips. You will be given a question. And in the question you'll be given, you should be able to paraphrase in such a way that you have a robust introduction. By introduction in essay, what do we really mean? What do I intend to say? What do I intend to write about in this essay? That's introduction. In the question, you will be given direction on what you are expected to write. And in that introduction, you are able to tell your readers, your examiner, what you are about to write, what you intend to write. In such question type like opinion essay, you will tell us the various views around that subject matter, and you will be able to tell us in that same first paragraph, that introductory paragraph, you will be able to tell us your own position if you are asked to take a position. If you are not asked to take a position, please note, don't take position. Develop the 2 views and leave. But if you are asked to take position in an opinion essay, if your opinion is asked for, then you have to give your opinion. Tell us right from the introductory paragraph, this is my position on this subject matter. After the introduction, you have the body. Now, because you are aiming at about 260, 280 words, you want to make your body like more than 2 paragraphs, like 3 paragraphs. Don't forget, always have about 3 sentences in your paragraph, at least 3 sentences in your paragraph, and learn to write complex sentences, compound complex sentences. In our subsequent classes, I'm going to elaborate more on these types of sentences also. So, you write your body in 2 or 3 paragraphs, if you like, 4 paragraphs. The moment you know that your paragraphs are short, then you have to increase the number of paragraphs that you're going to write so that you'll be able to meet up with this word count. The last one is conclusion. So just like the introduction, I said the introduction is what I intend to say. So what is now body? Your body is going to be what I have promised that I will say. You are saying what you have promised you will say. That's the body. Then in the conclusion, you are revising, you are summarizing what you have said. Can you see the logic now? Introduction, what I intend to say. Body, you are saying what you have promised to say. Conclusion, you are summarizing what you have said. Don't forget, the body, don't forget, the introduction is what you intend to say. The body, what you have promised to say, you actually say it. That's the stage for the real discourse. Then the conclusion, you are saying, you are summarizing.
Go.
Then the conclusion, you are summarizing what you have said. So, introduction, what you intend to say, body, that's actual discourse, then conclusion, what's the summary of what you have said. After that, let me quickly move to generating ideas in an exam condition. This is one very key area that many candidates may be having problem. The second part I want to look at is generating ideas in an exam condition. This segment actually gives many candidates problem, especially when they are given question to tackle in the exam. Some people, even though they don't have the idea of the question, they just put their heads on the desk and they are confused. They can't go ahead from there. Some people who have a kind of idea before, but the moment they see the question different from what they were expecting, they will just switch off like that. They won't be able to go ahead developing any idea. Oh no, not my own candidates. In this situation, when you come across any question in an exam condition, what are you expected to do? I call it mind mapping. Mind mapping. Your mind. Then the map. You map your mind. How do you map your mind? For example, you have a topic around agriculture. You have a topic around food security. What are those words that come to your mind? Immediately you encounter that topic, food security. Within the next 2-3 minutes, you generate those words coming to your mind. Okay, maybe we should go together in this exercise. Food security. What are those words? Pick a paper and your pen and write. For me, I can see agriculture. Okay, food security. I can see food shortage. What else? Food security, government policy. Food security, what comes to your mind again? Storage. Food security, what comes to your mind? Commercialization. Food security. What other things? You see, a lot of ideas will come. Those words will come. When they come, pick your pencil, note them. Note those words. And as you are noting them, how many do I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have about 6 words that have come to my mind. Yours may be more than mine. It depends on how fast you are. You can have about 10, 8, generate enough so that you have enough points to write about. The more your points, the more your ideas, the more robust your essay, if you actually know how to organize them very well. What's the next stage? After generating these points like this, you now need to outline those points. Don't go far. Don't go beyond what you have listed. Just rearrange what you have listed here in a particular order in which you will use to present them in the essay. Make your order logical. There are orders of presentation. We have the hierarchical order and we have the chronological order. When we say hierarchical order, you start from the small, the least, to the highest, to the largest. You start from the least important to the most important. That's hierarchy. In chronology, you start from the highest to the lowest. From the highest to the lowest. The most important idea, the most important point, the most catchy idea to the least. So for many writers, they prefer to employ chronological order. Come from the most important. Captivate your reader. Captivate your examiner with your choice of ideas, your choice of presentation. And your text will be good to read. After this, I want to move to arranging your ideas in an essay in writing task 2. How do I arrange my idea? There are 2 but 3 major ways of arranging your ideas. I call it thought pattern. What thought pattern are you following in writing your ideas? In presenting your ideas. I have 2 but 3. Cause and effects, problems and solution. The third one is a blend of the 2 above. A blend of cause and effect and problem and solution. So, in cause and effect, for example, it depends on the topic you are given. And I want to advise candidates to adhere strictly to the one that is going to be in tune, in line, that's going to be appropriate for the task or the type of question given. For example, some questions may favor cause and effect. I have mentioned food security the other time. Cause and effect may not go for food security. Problem solution may go. In cause and effect, you look at the causes of a particular you look at the causes of a particular issue. Then later you look at the effects. If you're versed and lettered very well, if you know your onions, you can decide to take one cause, one effect in a paragraph. If you have many ideas you have generated, it is possible for you to have about 2 to 3 ideas strung together in the same paragraph, well coordinated by cohesive devices. Don't forget, what's the characteristics of a paragraph? Don't forget, what's the characteristic of a paragraph? A paragraph must have the main idea that it's developing. All other ideas in that paragraph will be supporting idea. You have the major sentence that if you remove that major sentence in that paragraph, the paragraph looks empty. So, with that major sentence, you have the supporting ideas. Don't forget. And in situation where you have problem solution, of course, food security is the aim of every nation. We want to guarantee food for our people, for the citizenry. And in doing this, what are the steps we take? Okay, we need storage. We need to even encourage the production itself. Don't forget, agriculture. We need to ensure that there's no food shortage. Can you see those measures? Through agriculture, you have prevented food shortage. How do you provide food security? In a long range, you preserve. You present, you provide preservatives, storage. Then, if you have more than enough in your country and you want to export, you have commercialization. Then you need a very good, a robust government policy that will back up food security in such a community. So with these few things that you have learned today, lay your hands on any task 2 question. I'm sure you will be able to approach them better. In this learning hub, we are training candidates for not just Band 7, but 8 and 9. Thank you very much. Bye.